Hi there. Welcome to the new weekly Ozone radio show coming to you from sunny Bermuda. The show features items of general interest, including health, finances, lifestyle, with a dash of common sense and humor. Your hosts are Robin Trimmingham and Bill Story of the Olderhood Group. We hope you enjoy the show. So let's do this.
Welcome to the Ozone Weekly Radio Show podcast version. I'm Robin.
Hi, and I'm Bill.
And we're coming to you from sunny Bermuda. For those of you who've followed us for quite a while, you might know that we had a live radio show here on the island for about 2.5 years. And we've decided to recreate this here on the internet and send it all around the world.
Coming back to the radio. Yeah, I love it. We had a great time with the radio show. It was a great radio station. We loved the people. The whole setup was brilliant. The idea was we could just walk in, sit down. The mics were on, put some headphones on if you needed them. Nobody could see you. That was a big benefit because you could wear whatever you wanted. Didn't even have to brush my hair sometimes. And we could then just simply talk, and that was magnificent. It was a great idea.
I have to agree with you. What I really like about live radio is it's a lot more spontaneous than some of the very formal interviews that you might be used to seeing us do. And it's much more of a no holds barred conversation. And you know what the best part is, Bill?
No.
I'm down here in St. George's and I'm too far away from you for you to kick me under the table when you don't like what I'm saying.
Oops. Yeah, I think we maybe did quite a lot of that. It's probably worthwhile to share a couple of comments in this just introduction to the new show and tell the folks that, we were never scripted in the radio show. We were never scripted. In fact, we would arrive at the station about 5-10 minutes before the show went live. And we would sort of look at each other and say, okay, did you bring a couple of ideas or a couple of topics or something? Yeah, I did. What are they? And that's when we would share it with each other. So then we would literally walk straight into the studio, open up the show and start. Now we would have guests and we're a little bit, predetermined about, what we're going to talk to our guests about. But between ourselves, we never had any scripting. We would try to naturally follow the topics. And that worked exceptionally well. And I hope in this new weekly radio show, we're going to be able to do the same. We don't have any agenda. We will have topics. So we will follow some of that pattern, but we won't have any scripting.
Well, I have to say, I really enjoy the opportunity to have a much more spontaneous conversation. With all due respect to the people out there who use scripts and teleprompters and all kinds of rehearsals, it's good because it's very informative, and we try to be informative too, but you just lose the personality, you lose the personal contact, that interaction. And that's what I really like about this. So, Bill, what kind of topics are we going to cover in these conversations?
Well, I think we'll have a range of topics. We'll talk about some health issues, perhaps. We'll talk about financial issues, perhaps. We'll talk about personal stories or things that we've seen in the news that we would maybe comment on. We're not going to do politics or anything like that. I think that's overplayed these days, frankly, around the world. There are plenty, radio people who seem to have an opinion about, politics from left, right, middle, upside, downside. We're not going to do politics, but just general items of interest. Our target audience, which it has been for the last 8 years, has been probably a little bit on the age 30, 35 and upwards, perhaps. Would that be fair to say that, Robin? Or I know when we started, we kind of we were at the higher end of the age bracket, including yours truly, of course, but we kind of scaled that back, and I think that's what the audience is going to be for this new show.
I think this is going to be of interest to anybody who wants a lighthearted, intelligent conversation and a different look at the world, because we are living on an island that's just 21 square miles, and we are in the absolute middle of nowhere. We are 650 miles out to sea from the east coast of the United States. So if you can wrap your head around that, imagine the very different perspective that we might have of the rest of the world.
Yeah, I think that's correct, because I genuinely think that sometimes when we watch whatever they call it, mainstream media or stuff like that, sometimes it's just too serious, it's too heavy, it's too opinionated. Yeah, I mean, obviously we have opinions about certain things, but I think what we did with the radio show, which we'll do again, was that we'll talk about things with a level of common sense. Um, and I call it a dash of humor. I think a dash of humor is always a nice thing to have. People are taking the time to listen to the show. You don't want to be heavy and dreary and drudgery and stuff like that. So we'll bring a wee bit of humor to it as well.
Okay, I think we've gone on long enough. So there you have it. If you're looking for non-dreary conversation to break up your day, watch the Ozone Radio Show.